came to me, Jews and non-Jews alike. They tried to help me, show me the way, guide me, tell me what I have to do, took care of my children. When I have to go to school to learn English, I didn't know not one word in English. And I was looking around saying, Lord, where I am. I just came from a place where I suffer so much. And he people, everyone stopped, tried to help me. And I was thinking, Lord, oh Lord, where I am. You know, the belief in humanity, there still are people with good heart to help you. When help is needed, I gained again in this country. And in 1984, I was standing in the city of Pasadena in front of the mayor in the army near my wife, and I turned around to him and said, Mr. Mayor, you have here a Holocaust survivor in front of you. A survivor who lost everything, his heart, everything which a human being had, I lost. And I said to him, when I came into this city of Pasadena, I would never forget the beautiful people of the city. They show me so much love, so much compassion. And I said to him, the belief which I lost in Germany, in a human being, there still are people ready to help. I gained in this beautiful city of Pasadena, and I will never forget it. He helped me, and I started. Remember, this is something which you young people's heart understand. You live in this beautiful country of freedom. You know, when I'm looking at you, I'm crying inside. Because 1.5 million of our beautiful children have been killed. You can imagine, 1.5 million dreams have been cut off only because they have been born another race or religion. 1.5 million of children. You know, we travel all over the world. I'm going to the death camp. I'm trying, you know, to put on paper my pass, to live this as a heritage to the generation after I am. In 1984, I took my youngest daughter, who was a student. She was 23 years of age, and I went with her to Germany, into Poland. Why? Because I feel I have an obligation to take one for my children, to show them, to visit family, members of the family. Not the life. I went to visit cemeteries, the places where her grandfather, her grandmother, her uncle, her cousin have been killed. You know, because remember, my children, when they grow up, when they have been 6, 7 years, they didn't know the pleasure to hear a voice of the grandmother, the gentle touch on the grandfather's hand. They missed this. And you couldn't imagine how painful it was for me that my children have been, when my oldest daughter was 7 years of age, and she came from school before Easter and asked me, Dad, why I don't have cousins? Why I don't have uncles? I saw my friend at the school, a grandfather picked him out, some cousin came in, I was sitting alone lonely. Just so long, nobody came to visit me. Tell me, how to explain a 6-year-old child, especially my daughter, that another human being killed her cousin, her uncle, her grandfather? How painful it is to explain to a child. I didn't tell lullabies to my children. I didn't tell them about a prince or a princess. I used to take him on my knee and tell them the story of something. My children grow up in the shadow of the Holocaust. And when they grow up, I feel I have a moral obligation to take one of them in the shoulder, to visit the places where the family has been buried, where the grandfather, grandma, their cousin have been killed. I went with my daughter to Auschwitz. Maybe someday some of you will go over there and visit this place of horror, this place of death. And I was wandering from one barrack to another barrack, and I told her, you see, in this oven that burn the remain when you loved one, in this place they killed your cousin. And I show her a place, I display a room 4 times bigger like this, with 20,000, toothbrushes from little children, which the German collect after they kill the people. I show a display from children's clothes, about 40,000 pieces of children's clothes with letters, with numbers to send to Germany. They kill my people, which is horrible. Not only they kill them, they shave the women, the hairs, and I show I display 5,400 pounds of human hair on display in Auschwitz. This is the hair for my loved one before they killed him. They shaved the women, they put the hair in the bundle, and they sent the hair to Germany, and they made, clothes for the U-boats, for the Marine, that wear them. And when you come to Auschwitz, you see a roll of material made on human hair. This is the leftover. From 3 million or 2 million of my people have been killed in Auschwitz. And I was wondering that they're crying. And we have been standing on the edge of a lake, an artificial lake which the Germans built. And in this lake they throw 60,000 boxes of ashes. You can imagine how many thousands, hundreds of thousands of people they killed to collect 60,000 boxes of ashes. And when I was standing on the edge, I saw a little bone from a little child. I picked up this little bone, and I was holding in my hand in front of me. I started to cry, because I was thinking, maybe this is the bone for my cousin. And my daughter was standing away about 10 feet, and she was looking at me, and she started to cry. I cried, and she cried. This was the moment when we communicate without word. She shared the pain. She knew, she understood what I lost and what she lost. It's terrifying to raise a family without loved one. You can't imagine how terrifying it was for me when I have been liberated. I recall it when the moment when the American GI picked me up from the ground. He washed my face. He gave me in one hand a piece of chocolate and 2 crackers. I was holding the chocolate and crying. I was afraid to eat the chocolate because I didn't see a piece of bread and 69. He gave me a piece of chocolate. And he got a cold and took my hand with the chocolate and pushed in my mouth and said, eat, eat. And I was afraid to eat. After this they took me to the hospital to visit. When I came to the room and I saw a bed with white sheet, I was sitting on the ground. I was afraid to sit on the sheets. I didn't see white sheet. 6 long years I was sitting on the ground and crying, and 2 nurses put me on the bed. For 3, 4 nights I couldn't sleep. You couldn't imagine, you couldn't understand what it is to be free. Not to have the love and to share the moment of your freedom. I couldn't make peace that I'm free. The minute I close my eye, I still hear, the crying from the dead one, because a day before the liberation, the Germans still have been killing my friend. And I have been liberated, and I was free 3, 4 days. I was laying, on bed and crying. I was sick. If you look at me, at the time of the liberation, I was 110 pounds heavy. My head and the head have been swollen. My eye was popped up like this. I was sick. I have terrible pain, because you have to understand, when I was standing in death court in the morning before I get this little piece of road, they ran us out from the barracks 4:30 in the morning. I was standing 4 hours in Germany, and rain and snow, without shoes, without a hat. And when the rain poured down, the water thrown in pieces of ice. And I had sackles of ice in front of my face, and I was in my head, had been swollen from the pain, from the suffering, from the ice. And after the liberation, my nerve had been damaged.